The zone doesn't stand still. It never has and it never will. GSC Game World just dropped their second roadmap for Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, outlining everything planned for the rest of 2025. And it's the kind of update that makes you sit up and pay attention. And this isn't just a laundry list of features either, it's doubling down on an incredibly risky move, migrating the game to Unreal Engine 5.5.4 in the middle of its life cycle. This is the kind of thing that can breathe fresh life into a game or send it spiraling into months of firefighting and hotfixes. And they're doing it while also promising new missions, new anomalies, and a complete loot rework, a massive step forward in modding tools in the PlayStation 5 launch. That's a lot of moving parts, and the stakes could not be higher for Stalker 2 right now. So in this video, we're going to break it all down: what's coming, what it means, the risks, the rewards, and how this fits into Stalker 2's history of evolving the zone finally into something we all expect. If you've been following other big Unreal Engine games recently, basically something we can't even avoid, you'll know this is not a minor patch. Every jump in Unreal versions brings with it a cascade of changes: new rendering techniques, updated physics handling, better optimization pipelines, but it also changes how assets and scripts behave. In other words, it's like changing an engine in your car while it's still moving on the highway. So why are they doing it? For GSC, the answer is long-term stability, something Stalker 2 really does need right now. Unreal Engine 5.5.4 comes with the latest performance optimizations, especially in streaming open world environments and handling AI loads, which could help with their A-life overall. That means smoother traversal across the zone, fewer stutters when swapping between interior and exterior cells, and more predictable NPC behavior, hopefully better NPC behavior. It also comes with new tools under the hood that will benefit modders. The scripting layer is more robust, and lighting workflows are cleaner, meaning we could see bigger, more complex mod projects without the current bottlenecks. But let's be real, the risk is huge here. When CD Projekt Red migrated The Witcher 3 to a major new engine branch for their next gen update, they had to deal with shader compilation stutters, broken mods, and unexpected AI glitches. GSC is effectively saying we know the risk, but the payoff is going to be worth it. At least in my mind, they can't afford to not earn this payoff. Beyond all the tech googly moogly, the roadmap's Q3 and Q4 content promises a bunch of long requested items. Night vision devices are finally being expanded, which will change how players approach nighttime infiltration. Right now, night vision in the game are tied to mods. It is functional but limited. More options means more strategies and more ways for NPCs to see you coming. Binoculars are also being added. On paper, this sounds small, but in practice, it's game-changing for Stalker veterans. In the original trilogy, binoculars weren't just for sightseeing. They were a scouting tool for planning ambushes, marking patrol routes, and spotting anomalies from a safe distance. And then here's a big one, the A-Life update that's coming. If you're new to the series, A-Life is the simulation system that gives the zone its unpredictability. It controls NPC schedules, random events, faction conflicts, basically the living part of the living world. GSC is tweaking how NPCs see in low light, balancing combat with the AI, and reworking mutant encounters. This could make the zone feel way more alive and a lot more dangerous. The zone has always thrived on mystery, and nothing embodies that better than anomalies. The roadmap confirms we're getting brand new ones, though they keep details under wraps. Historically, each new anomaly type changes exploration routes and forces you to rethink your artifact hunting. We're also getting new missions that involve both returning allies and entirely new characters. This is big because GSC has a habit of using mission content to drip feed world lore. A few fresh characters could expand our understanding of factions, history, and the zone's internal politics. A brand new weather scenario is also coming. Adding a new weather pattern could make certain areas deadlier at a specific time, creating a kind of environmental puzzle for survivalists. The gameplay adjustments coming later this year hit both with the casual and hardcore ends of the spectrum. A new master difficulty preset is being introduced for players who think the survival difficulty still has too many training wheels. Expect harder hitting enemies, fewer resources, and maybe even stricter survival mechanics. We're also getting extended daylight cycle, which means fewer transitions between day and night. This alters the pacing of scavenging runs and can make nighttime operations feel more deliberate and high stakes, and obviously will help with the use of NVGs, because right now, as the day-night cycle works, NVGs would be pretty useless, being that the cycle feels rather quick. The Stash's loot rework could be one of the most player-impacting changes in the roadmap. In its current form, Stash rewards are just sausages and vodka. A rework suggests GSC has heard the feedback and is ready to make the hidden caches genuinely worth the effort. They really are listening to us. Finally, stamina and energy drink mechanics are being rebalanced, which which is definitely needed. I know it sounds small, but in survival games, resource economy is everything. If GSC changes how quickly you burn stamina or how much benefit you get from an energy drink, it could alter your plans of expeditions and ultimately change how you play the game altogether. One of the most intriguing smaller additions is the immersive display mode. While GSC hasn't detailed exactly how it works, it's likely an optional minimal HUD setup, letting you rely on in-world cues rather than cluttered overlays. Games like Metro Exodus use this brilliantly to enhance atmosphere, and seeing it here makes perfect sense. There's also an update on the player equipment, hinted with a cheeky, oh, protection staff finally. That note was on the roadmap itself. This could mean armor rebalancing, better stat tracking, or even expanded customization, because as it stands right now, there's far too much ambiguity in knowing your stats of your gear and equipment. Now this one I'm really excited for, because if you're a PC player, this might be the real headline here. The Zone kit is moving from phase 1 to phase 2, and the difference is massive. Phase 1 gave us basic modding, new textures, small tweaks, and basic custom items, as well as the ability to modify weapons and other things like that. Phase 2 will open the floodgates. Audio modding, imagine custom weapon sounds, dynamic ambient tracks, or total voiceover replacements. Narrative tools, the ability to create full quest lines with dialogue, branching choices, and scripted events. Better compatibility, mods will be able to interact with the core systems without breaking them. Blueprint support, finally, modders get access to the same blueprint system GSC uses internally, making it easier to replicate official content quality. Optimization improvements, smoother workflows, meaning modders can spend more time building and less time troubleshooting. In Stalker 2's history, the modding community has kept this series alive long after the official support ended. Mods like Call of Chernobyl or Anomaly became full games on their own right, and the official toolkit could lead to the next generation of total conversions, which is something I am absolutely pumped about. Other items include local save backup restoration, a godsend if you ever have lost a hardcore save to a crash or something like that, and ongoing optimization passes. There's also a community holiday event on the Discord, which, while not game-changing, helps keep engagement up with the patches in the community. And of course, the PS5 and PS5 Pro launch is on the horizon. That's a fresh wave of players entering the zone, which could mean more community feedback, more eyes on the game, and potentially more funding for post-launch content. I, for one, love Stalker 2 as it is. Of course, I'm looking for specific updates, but if Stalker does get a massive amount of funding and they can turn it into something much bigger than it is now, I would be overjoyed. Some of the main things that I'm looking forward to in Stalker is fleshed out AI rebalancing, A-life, and much more content within the zone, such as side questing. I think in between mods, DLCs, and the new missions that GSC are adding, I'll be looking to hop back into the zone very soon. Looking at the scope of this roadmap, it's clear GSC is aiming very high, which I'm very excited for. Stalker 2 isn't something they're just leaving in the rearview mirror after their initial success, because they did do well. They sold a lot of copies, and one could argue they did that while the game was completely broken. The rewards are obvious: a better performing game, more immersive systems, richer modding potential, and a steady flow of content, but the risks are equally real. The Unreal Engine 5.5.4 could introduce unforeseen bugs, delaying other roadmap items, and trying to deliver too much at once could spread the QA way too thin. Even with the better tools that this version of Unreal Engine comes with, large-scale mods can take time to really mature. Still, this level of transparency is refreshing. We now have a clear set of promises, and the community can hold GSC to them. Stalker has always been about unpredictability, both in the zone itself and in its development. This 2025 roadmap captures the spirit perfectly: big changes, high stakes, and the willingness to take risks in the pursuit of a better game. If GSC pulls this off, we could be looking at a definitive version of Stalker 2 by the end of the year. One that plays better, runs smoother, and has a thriving modding scene, keeping it alive for years. But in the zone, nothing is guaranteed. If you want my opinion, in 2 years, Stalker 2 is going to be one of the greatest games that we have out on the market today. And that's without mods. With mods, no game will be able to hold a candle to it. That is something I can guarantee. Thank you very much for watching to the end of the video. If you got use out of it and you want me to cover more Stalker, hit the like button and consider subscribing. It helps me out massively, being the small channel that I am. Have yourselves a very nice day.